All right. Next up, we have the strangest challenge from Earl Nightingale. So Earl Nightingale was a radio host. He's got a crazy voice for this type of stuff, and if you look for him on YouTube, there's a tons of stuff that is in his voice. I don't know how much of it is actual recordings from when he was doing his show, or even necessarily his words, but I'm sure his voice has been used in AI generation and put to new words that are there. Some of them are pretty cool videos. I know I've listened to some and enjoyed them. I don't know too much about him, but this challenge is pretty interesting. So this is something you may have an opportunity to use after the next segment of the show. But we'll just talk about the challenge briefly. A transformative process to achieve your goals and control your thoughts by focusing on a single written desire for 30 days. Goals are awesome. Without goals, I wouldn't achieve things. I love goals. You need to change to achieve your goals, but that's part of the joy, is the transformation, the transcendence of who you used to be. So goals are good things, but they're often hard to deal with. I think, and a lot of it is controlling your thoughts, right? Your focus determines your reality. Tony Robbins would tell you that, self-help guru from the 90s and the last 20 years, maybe it's from the 18th century. I don't know. He's been around for a while. Qui-Gon Jinn, Jedi Master, would tell you your focus determines your reality. So you've got goals you need to worry about. You need to control your thoughts to focus on your goals and not be sidetracked by all the negative thoughts. So how do you do that? And that's where this challenge comes into play. It suggests you identify a single goal. Identify one specific goal that you desire more than anything else and write it down in present tense. Like, I lost 80 pounds. Like, let's say we used to weigh 280 pounds, like 190 now. And I would write down the goal like 10 years ago is, I lost 90 pounds and I'm healthy and I exercise every day and I'm so glad I did it. And not the best goal for 30 days. Sidetrack here. But the point is you have a definite single goal, and writing it in the present tense means thinking about it like that, and write about it as if it has already happened. You create an index card. One side of the card, you write your goal. To lose weight, whatever it is, quit smoking. On the other side, you write the words, ask and it shall be given you, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be open to you. So it's, there's a bit of like ritual enactment here to put you in the frame of mind where you're saying these things. And if you say them and you hear yourself saying them, you can believe that it is possible, that all you need to do is seek and you're going to find what you need. All you need to do is knock and take action, and the way will be open for you. And multiple times throughout every day for the next 30 days, especially in the morning when your mind is clear from sleeping all night and you haven't packed it full of everything from the day, especially in the morning and at night. Before you go to bed, you want to clear out all that other stuff and seed your mind with these thoughts of your dream and these positive type of affirmations. And a couple times during the day to remind you. So this is the challenge for 30 days. Is it's not even necessarily talking about necessarily doing it. Obviously, you want to start working towards that goal too. But the challenge itself is just work on the mental piece. And I think the reason it is that way, because there's this idea that if you're doing this mental piece and you put the effort in to try and do the thing, it's going to be a lot easier to do. It's not actually like getting your shoes on and going outside that's all that hard. It's convincing yourself to do it. I'm going to go for a walk. And this is how you're cultivating this positive thinking. Because when you're cultivating the positive thinking, it doesn't just add, it kind of multiplies, because that positive thinking helps you do the positive thing. When you're doing a positive thing or you're thinking a positive thought, you're not going to be thinking a negative thing, because you can't be thinking two things at the same time. So those negative thoughts, it's not a matter, you know, and do this with faith. And persistence, believing that you're going to achieving the goal, doing it for the full 30 days until you can start to see a difference in your mindset. Even if you don't see the goal in weight loss, you see a difference in your mindset and you feel better because of it. Starting, obviously, you keep starting again if you fail, but this positive thinking becomes like a snowball, and eventually it builds, and you do more positive things and you see more positive things. So this is the strangest challenge. Find an area of your life that you think this makes sense. Actually write it down, your goal, on a card, and just those words on the back. And you would be surprised how good this works for you. So there's some underlying principles we'll go over here. You become what you think about. We already talked about that. Qui-Gon Jinn, Tony Robbins, they would all tell you this. Set a settled purpose. A person with a clear, settled purpose is positioned for success and avoids mediocrity. The difference between having a settled purpose and not having the settled purpose is the actual goal. Right now, you want whatever it is. You want to be more social. You want to lose weight. You want to be just more at peace with who you are because you're great the way you are. You don't need to do any of this stuff. You'd feel better maybe if you did. If these are areas where you're lacking where you want, it's great. You want it for a reason. You'd feel better. You're fine the way you are. And that's why these are just a bunch of things. They're like, yeah, maybe, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. But you have to have a settled purpose. A settled purpose is, I've thought about all these things that I want. This is what I want most in life. And I should go for it because this is my one precious life to go for I want. So get that settled purpose, have a goal that you're working towards, and then it's paying the price. It requires effort and willingness to change your habits and your mindset. And the first habit you're changing is developing the good mindset. And as you're developing the good mindset, it's going to be very easy if you're doing the thing, right? It's like going for a walk every day for a week. It's a great starter for whatever it is. I don't care if you want to write more, but you're like, hey, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a walk 5-10 minutes a day, because like physical development is the first thing. It's like the foundation for anything you could do. You want to be more emotionally stable. You want to be more intelligent. You want to be more at peace with things. Like it all depends on physical health. Without physical health, all those other things are on shaky ground, and having a solid framework and a solid physical health helps you do all the things. Another part of Tony Robbins that bleeds into this is I saw a short video from him this past week that talks about the how versus the why. And his why is, this is your purpose. He's talking about purpose and goal here. And that's what you focus on. The whole part of what he was talking about was you focus on the why, you focus on your goal, you focus on your purpose. That is a magnet that will draw you in. Often people think about that and they immediately think, how am I going to do that? How am I going to go for a walk? I live here. Or how am I going to start running? Don't worry, just go for a walk. Like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And what he was saying in the video is the how will show up. You focus on the why. All you have to do is focus on the why. It's like you're thinking too much about the how. You're not going to know what's available to you in the moment. You're not going to know how you're going to feel. You're not going to know how the weather is. You will find a way in the moment if you're just present on the moment. The only thing you need to focus on is the why. It's like you don't really like operate your brain, like tell it to do this, tell it to do that. It works best when you just let it go and you're like, I wonder about that. And you don't think about 50 different things. You just wonder. And then you're doing the dishes and 5 minutes later, you're like, oh yeah, this is how it could do it. And it's kind of the same concept. Worrying too much about the how is that kind of, trying to work your brain. Let your brain work. You just worry about the why. If you put that goal out there, you really want it, your brain is going to figure it out, because your brain is a problem-solving machine. You may not know this, but your brain is a problem-solving machine. You just need to find the right problems for it to solve, and getting that settled purpose or that goal, and then getting your brain in gear with this challenge. Getting it in gear with the challenge kind of, it lets your brain know it's worthwhile to think about this and figure it out, because you really want it and it's possible and it's going to happen. So that is the strangest challenge. I personally have not done it, but I've done a lot of other things that are similar to that. I've done like the gratitude journaling and Other things I've done, like goal for the year exercises, all sorts of different things. And we'll probably get into a lot of those later.